This one powerful manifesting technique will absolutely transform your manifesting. What is it? I'm going to talk about it and explain how it works. Stick around. Okay, welcome to Patty's World. I'm traveling this week. I'm in Las Vegas. Look at our beautiful room. We are currently at the Wynn. Okay, the big, powerful manifesting technique that you need to be using and implementing, because it will change things up here. It will override and reprogram old beliefs and old past events. Can you guess what I'm talking about? Revision. Revision is a powerful manifesting technique because everything is created in the mind, in consciousness. Whatever you're imagining, whatever story you're telling, that's what you're pushing out, and that's what the world of the five senses is reflecting back to you. The powerful thing with revision is that if you go into the state akin to sleep, you go into that meditative, quiet state, into stillness, and you imagine yourself differently. You go into the past, you go in there as the powerful present version of you, and you rewrite the outcomes, you revise them, you override them, you hear what you want to hear, you tell yourself what you imagine, how it played out, you rewire them, you rewire them, you revise them, you retell them in your mind. You're programming new software in your subconscious mind, you're imprinting those new beliefs, and then in the world of the five senses, in consciousness, you will embody a new energetic state. You push that out, the world of the five senses will conform. It is incredibly powerful, and I've done it many times. I've done it with, I don't want to say healing because you're not broken, you're whole and complete, but I've done it with painful things from my past that I felt, traumatic events. I don't make it an identity, but an event that was incredibly painful and I felt was affecting me in my present. I would go back to scenes in my childhood, and I would go in there and rescue and save and comfort and love on the little girl who felt like she wasn't seen, loved, worthy, whatever she needed to hear. I made her feel safe. I talked to that little girl in my mind. I revised the scene. I'm able now, as this powerful, strong, capable, confident, secure woman, go back into my imagination and cut ties, energetic cords with the adults in my life, and completely revise the scene, my perspective of it. I can see things differently. I can release them. I can cut energetic cords, whatever it takes to help you finally release whatever attachment you have to some event that happened in your past, which is something that happened to you, but it doesn't define you. And you're able to release and imprint new ideas, new beliefs, a new powerful mindset that whatever you went through in the past, instead of it holding you back, instead of creating a crutch or some sort of sense of brokenness, you're able to see it as something you went through to move you into this powerful state, the powerful version of you who you are now. And I say this all the time, in this world, in this reality, you are the utmost authority on you. You get to say who you are. So by sheer virtue that I go into my past, I imagine that old event from my past, and I rewire it and I rewrite it, and I recreate the scenes, just like a producer and a director in a movie. I go back and replay it in my mind. I tell a new story that always benefits me, that always works in my favor. And then I reaffirm those beliefs. Everything always works in my favor. I have nothing to worry about. And this only worked to move me to where I am now, and it worked in my favor, and I'm stronger, I'm better, I'm more confident, I'm powerful. I can use this for good because everything works for good in my life, and I make those my core common mantras about my life. Does that make sense? It's very powerful. It's a powerful technique. Use it in everything, because not only can you go back and rewrite and revise old painful beliefs from your childhood, your past, breakups, divorces, something traumatic that happened to you that you're able to release and cut ties with, but you're also able to revise your day. Let's say that you went into your boss's office and it was a confrontational meeting, or you didn't hear what you wanted to hear. If you go into your mind and revise it and imagine it from, and remember, we're always creating in consciousness and imagination, and the past, even what happened earlier in the day, is the past. It's history, it's old news. But if I go now in imagination and imagine it as I would have preferred it, my boss told me I was great, they gave me the compliments, they loved me, it was a great meeting, I got everything I wanted and more, I got a pay raise, it all worked in my favor. And then I trust and believe, I persist in this new imagining That's what I'm rewiring. That's what I'm creating. That's what I'm imprinting. You push that out and the world of the five senses will conform. I promise you, the next day you'll go into work and your boss will show up differently. They'll pull you in the office and tell you, hey, you know what? I made a mistake, blah, blah, blah. It's amazing. I've done this multiple times. I recommend it to my clients. I revise it. When the 3D is showing me something I don't prefer, I pause and go into, okay, what do I prefer? If this worked in my favor, and then I revise it in my mind. I get to decide what is true and real in my life. I imagine it differently, I play it out differently, and I tell a new story around it. And irrespective of what the 3D is showing me, I always add the assumption and the belief that everything's always working in my favor. Nothing to worry about, nothing to fear. You can revise it with your SP. If your SP showed up a certain way and you're in the hot cold where they show up, they conform, and then they don't, if they show up in a way you don't prefer, instead of reacting to the 3D and getting in another loop of arguing and trying to teach them how to behave, pull your energy back, stay calm, and then imagine that night or that day or whenever you have time to be still, imagine them telling you, you know what, I'm sorry, you were right, here are the flowers, I choose you, I love you. Imagine them telling you everything you've been wanting to hear. Imagine them in front of you. Create a best case scenario instead of the worst case scenario. Imagine the best case scenario where you hear them telling you what you wanted to hear, you're responding, you tie in emotion, you tie in belief, take yourself to the feeling state of, oh, it happened, it played out the way I wanted it. Make sure you tie in your emotions. As you play it out in your imagination, as you're visualizing those short scenes, tie it into the relief, the goodness, the freedom, the confidence, the security that it all worked in your favor. Hold that state for at least 15 seconds, 20 seconds, as much as you can. Dwell in that energy. Anytime your mind wants to take you back to the old version of you, the familiar, no. You interrupt the pattern and take yourself back to, no, I revised this. I rewrote this. No, the past doesn't matter. I revised this. What matters is what I'm telling myself up here. And I promise you, the world of the five senses, the 3D will conform to reflect whoever you are being, whatever story you're telling yourself, whatever self-dialogue, which is going to align with your thoughts and beliefs and imagining, it's going to conform. That's how revision works. It is powerful, it is easy, practice it, you'll get better at it, assume it all works in your favor, and you heard exactly what you wanted to hear. Don't get so bogged down in the 3D. Listen, I've had people tell me no in the 3D, and I'm like, and I don't say anything. I just in my mind tell myself, okay, we'll see. I always get a yes. And then I imagine getting a yes. I imagine it exactly what I want, how I want. I just trust. I detach. I go about my day. And sure enough, whether in a matter of hours, minutes, days, it conforms to reflect exactly the outcome I wanted. And when I first got into this and started testing this, I was like, oh man, it's a little bit, I don't want to say spooky, but amazing that whatever you're telling your mind, that's what you're creating in your life. And you're always manifesting, you're always creating. When people say, oh, manifesting doesn't work, it does. Because whatever you're imagining and creating, whatever story you're telling in your mind, that's what you're pushing out, that's what's showing up in your life. And when you first really commit to the law, when you fully commit to it and be like, no, I'm going to rewrite this, you will see it's amazing that people don't have free will. They will show up exactly with whatever role you're giving them to play and however you're imagining them. So if you imagine them differently and recreate them in your mind, I promise you they will show up reflecting that new version. I've done it multiple times with multiple people, all the time. That's why I believe in this. That's why I teach this. This has transformed my life. You can do this. Just practice this. And you got it. You absolutely got it. I believe in you. I want to hear when you've tried it, the kind of results you've gotten. I want to hear your feedback. Tell me in the comments, and then I'll see you on the next one. Oh, by the way, this was a viewer request from my client, Oslam, who wanted me to talk about revision. This is for her, but I think this is useful for everybody. Everybody. Get really good at this. You will transform your life.